The truth sets you free. With the world's fastest reader, Howard Stephen Berg.
Hi everyone, Howard Stephen Berg, world's fastest reader. We have a very special guest today, me. And I'm doing this on purpose. A lot of you have emailed me and said, you know, we really love some of the things you're showing us on how to learn and use information. We enjoy your guests, but maybe you could do a show with just you and help us to learn faster, help our kids do better in school, help our businesses make more money by learning to use information better or stay mentally fit as a senior. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to do a show about learning and me. But before I do, I want to thank our sponsor, which is Wheatland Dental Center. Wheatland Dental Center is run by Dr. Harry Sugg. I can't say enough about Harry. He's the nicest person, but he's one of the most knowledgeable dentists in America. Dr. Sugg has been a dentist 48 years. Now, here's what's amazing. He works 6 days a week, and he averages 12 to 16 hours a day. You find me someone with more experience as a dentist than Dr. Sugg, and I guarantee you that that person doesn't exist because he actually won an award as the hardest working dentist in America. So please write down this information. It's worth the trip. There are NFL players coming from all over the country just to visit Dr. Sugg. They actually made him the dentist of the NFL Players Association, and he helps a lot of them with their sleep apnea problems, like Eric Dickinson. He literally flew in from Los Angeles. I know they got dentists in Los Angeles, and he came to Dr. Sugg, as did I. I'm a biologist, and I've been around doctors a large part of my life. My mother worked for a dentist. He's the best dentist I've ever met in my life. I'm very proud to have him as a sponsor and a friend. So please write down that information. Now, let's get on with the show. Today, I'm going to tell you how to read and learn faster. And I'm going to show you first one of my wonderful students, Micah. Micah actually is Micah Stanley. And he passed the bar in California at 19 years old. Now, was it a fluke? That's an amazing accomplishment. Well, his brother is 22, and he's also an attorney and a flight instructor. But here's where it gets amazing. His 15-year-old sister is in her first year of law school and will be the youngest person in history to graduate and pass the bar in California. And the second youngest will be his other brother, who's 17, in his second year of law school. All of them using what I'm going to share with you today. So take notes. You're going to want to remember what I'm showing you because this can make all the difference in the world to your children and to yourselves to be successful in an information-based world. First, we're going to look at information overload. Did you know more is printed in a week than all human history through the year 1800? That's a fact. And you only read about 200 words per minute. No wonder reading can seem so overwhelming. I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't like to read. I like to learn. I like to learn how to do things. Like I learned Photoshop in, I think it was 6 hours. Now, it takes 4 years in college, but I learned it in 6 hours. I learned Windows in 15 minutes. I learned Word, Microsoft Word in 90 minutes. That's what I'm interested in. I don't want to spend 6 months learning how to do something. I want to do it, and reading is the key to that. So I personally use it to learn. Every 6 months, information doubles. That's a fact. All of that's now online, so we're inundated with all this information. But how do you read faster? I'm going to show you the secret. After the show, I want you to get a non-fiction book, one that you've read already, and I want you to open up to the first chapter of your book. Make sure it's a book that would not confuse you. If the book is confusing at your regular speed, it's a very bad book to learn how to read faster in. You want to make sure the only thing you're learning is how to read faster and not a whole book at the same time. So go to the first chapter, have a timer. You could use a smartphone or a watch or even an egg timer, or put a cup of coffee in your microwave and set it for a minute. When the bell rings, you're done. So for 1 minute, you're going to read in the first chapter at your best reading speed, the way you normally read, your normal reading speed. Don't do anything different. the end of the minute, take the pencil and mark off what line you were on. So now you know how far you read in a minute. Now I'm going to show you the secret sauce, so pay attention. You want to use your hand. And you're going to use your hand to go from the left to the right margin, from the left to the right margin, all the way across the page and not down the middle. Now here's the important part. Your eyes are going to follow your hand. You can show my hands now, please. Your eyes are going to follow your hand as you're going one line at a time as quickly as you could comprehend. As long as you know what you're reading, keep going faster till you don't. You actually say, that's too fast. Now you know where your ceiling is, where it's too fast. Slow down just enough so your comprehension comes back. And then you're going to use your hand and go one line at a time as quickly as you could comprehend in the second chapter of your book for 5 minutes to get used to doing it. Now go back to the first chapter where you initially tested yourself. And this time, using your hands, go as quickly as you could comprehend. You'll be amazed. You're going to see that little mark you had that was the furthest you could go in a minute get passed by 10, 15, 20% just doing this one single step. It's the first step in my full reading program. It's very easy to learn. Please share this with the children in your life. They need it for school. I'm not sure if you knew this, but 50% of four-year college students drop out, and 70% of two-year college students drop out. 30% graduate. And one of the main reasons they don't finish is they can't read fast enough. Today, a four-year degree is taking, on average, 6 years to complete because they can't take full course loads and do the reading and the writing. So they're taking 2 courses, 3 courses, taking 6 years, twice, 50% more tuition. What I'm showing you can make the difference between a student finishing and not finishing, finishing on time, or taking 6 years or longer. So it's really, really valuable. Please share this with the people you love. Like Stephen, that was a student of mine. Stephen graduated the University of Texas, Arlington, at 16. He looks like a little boy. Funny story, finished at 15. His mother said he couldn't go to graduate school till he was old enough to drive, and you have to be 16 in Texas. She made him go an extra year. He took a year off. Lazy Stephen, right? Oh, by the way, he graduated with a 4.0 with a degree in economics. Not so lazy. Went for a master's degree at 18 at Oklahoma University in math. And they paid him $27,000 when he was 18 years old to teach math in college. Gave him free room and board, books and tuition. Graduated at 19 with a 3.97 GPA, master's in math. His biggest problem, he said, what are we going to tell my mother I got a B? I said, Stephen, you went to college, you got all A's as an undergraduate, and 1 B in all A's as a graduate student. Somehow, she'll find it in her heart to forgive you. If you got a B, no one on planet Earth could have gotten an A. Now, would you agree it's much, much more important to understand what you read than read quickly? Years ago, I was with the famous talk show host, Dick Cavett. He had a night show, sort of like Jimmy Fallon has now and Stephen Colbert. And he told me he interviewed Woody Allen. And Woody had taken a speed reading course and read War and Peace in 5 minutes. Now, it's a huge book. He said, that's amazing. What do you remember? And he said, it's about the Russian Revolution. That's all I remember. And that was the problem. Speed reading didn't work. People would have to slow down and learn things. And when they did, they lost their speed. I found a way to fix it. I found a way to be able to learn difficult material, slow down when you need to, and immediately speed up again, which was impossible in the old program. In fact, the old owner of Evelyn Woods paid me to train his son. Schema, that's the secret. Schema is your map. It's what you know already. So I'm going to show you how it works in making text meaningful. Let's look at this slide together. This slide has no schema. The words are simple. Watch how confusing it is to understand. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do it at an early age. Careful not to rush or you may have a serious problem. It doesn't make sense, does it? Now on the next page, I have the same paragraph, but this time I have a title. Bike riding. Watch what happens. Bike riding. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do this at an early age. Be careful not to rush, or you may have a serious problem. You can learn it by yourself, but probably will want someone to help you. How confusing is it now? It's effortless to read. So imagine now you're reading 2, 3, 4 times faster, looking for the schema. Can you see how you not only would be reading quicker, but understanding more? Schema is the golden ticket. It's the decoder ring. It's what makes the words on the page make sense to your brain. I'll give an example how I developed this. I was studying biology in college, and in my junior year, I get interested in the brain and how it works. So I said to the dean, I want to do a psych program and a bio program. And he looked at me and he said, you only have 1 year of college left. You haven't had one course in psychology. You'd have to take 6 science courses at the same time, 2 with labs. The labs are 4 hours long. And lab reports back then took 16 hours to write. So that's 40 hours of lab a week along with all these 6 courses. He says, you're not smart enough. And that's when it hit me. They don't teach learning in school. Tell you what to learn, why to learn, what will happen when you don't learn. But they don't tell you why. You can remember a song you heard once and then sing it for the rest of your life, but you can't remember a book you read yesterday. And it was schema that mattered. So I did the 4-year psych program in 1 year, literally. I even took the GRE, which is the SAT for graduate school, in biology. In 3 nights, I read 48 books like biochemistry, genetics, cell physiology. I got 3 questions wrong. I was in the 99th percentile on the planet using the strategy I just showed you. I took a group of children. We had a Judeo-Christian homeschool online. We gave them a 30-chapter book in lifelong developmental psychology, which is a sophomore course in college. Now, the oldest student was 15. And using the strategy I'm showing you, in 1 week, they were able to read the book, and 15 out of 18 students passed the course for full credit. So it's not just that I can do this, you can do this too when you learn the system. And I'm going to show you now the single most important skill of all, and it's called emotional intelligence. And I'm going to stand up to demonstrate this. Imagine I was teaching you how to drive, and you failed the road test, not because you couldn't drive, because you got nervous taking the test. How many people do you know failed the road test because they got nervous? How many of your kids don't do well in school, not because they don't study, not because they don't know the material, they got nervous taking the test? That's emotional intelligence, the ability to be able to perform at a peak level despite your emotions. You're able to control them. What if I told you you could control your emotions? And not only told you, but showed you how. How valuable would that be? I'm going to show you how to get more energy. So when you're working late at night, you can wake up without taking coffee and then get jittery and can't sleep later. How when you're in a long meeting, you can wake up. Or if your kids are in school taking a test or in a long class, wake up. Driving home in traffic, wake up. I will show you how. Now, the left side of your brain controls what part of your body? Did I hear? Right? You're correct. And the right side of your brain controls what part of your body? Well, there's only one side left. So left side controls the right, right side controls the left. Please stand up just to do this one exercise. It's worth the time. You'll be glad you did. Go all out on this. You'll be thankful. I want you to take your left hand, touch your right shoulder, your right hand, and touch your left shoulder, alternating. And it's not just the Macarena without music. It's a brain massage. Now pretend you're doing the Charleston. Touch your left hand to your right knee and your right hand to your left knee, alternating. Perfect. Left to right, right to left. Now make a fist with your right hand, thumb in your fist, and say this like you mean it. I feel great. Yes. Say it with passion. I feel great. Yes. We'll do 3 sets of these. And when you're done, I'll show you how to use this to wake up when you need a lot of energy. Are you ready? We'll start with the shoulder taps, left to right. Go at my speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knee taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Now we're going to do it again, just a little quicker. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. This time, go full out as fast as you can, starting with the shoulder taps. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Put a smile on your face. Feel great. Give yourself a hand. Sit down. I'm going to tell you what you'll learn. I'll sit down too. You know what happens when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now you're probably thinking, I would like something. And I'm going to show you how to get something. When I studied psych, we studied Pavlov, and he learned about conditioning. He rang a bell. You probably heard this story. He rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, the dog drooled. You don't want to drool, but you do want energy. Doing this 3 times doesn't work. Doing it 3 times a day for 90 days, an amazing thing will happen. The latest studies show it takes 90 days to learn a new habit and not 30 like they used to teach. So every day go slow, medium, fast, slow, medium, fast. I feel great, I feel great. When you're squeezing your thumb and saying, I feel great, yes, that's your bell. You don't want to be in a business meeting and to wake up, you go like this. It's not going to look good. You don't want your kid in school doing this to wake up. They'll throw them out of the room. But you can grab your thumb and say it like you mean it. I feel great, yes. And what would you feel? You'd feel the way you did at the end of each of those exercises. Because every time you got in the state of feeling awake, you squeezed your thumb and said, I feel great, yes. And you created a conditioned stimulus and a response. Not drooling, but waking up. And in the same way, you can learn to relax, focus, concentrate. We can create all kinds of wonderful states that can help us be more successful in whatever it is we do. Now, why did I say feel it? I was on the longest running show in history. It's called the Joe Franklin Show. 50 years, one person. There have been shows on longer like Meet the Press or The Tonight Show. They've had many hosts. This was one man. 50 years, 48 years. It was a little less than 50. Excuse me. I was on the last 3 weeks of the show. I'm sitting right next to Joe. And I said, Joe, during the break, what's your secret? How did you get the longest running show in the history of television? And he smiled. And he looked at me. And he said, sincerity. And when you can fake that, you can do anything. I want you to know, nobody fakes sincerity for 50 years. No one. That's why it's so important when you're doing this that you actually say, I feel great, yes, and feel it. You can't trick your brain. Insincerity doesn't work. If you truly feel great, you believe you feel great, you feel great, and you do that, that will lock this conditioned state in and make it work for you. So no one can fake sincerity that long. People know when you care about them and when you care about you. If you're in a business, it's so important to be about them. That's why at every show I've done, I've given you my personal cell phone, given you my personal email. You matter to me. I'm not here for me. I know how to do these things. I'm here for you. I want your questions. I want to answer your problems and solve them. I want to help you. That's what this is about. It's not about Howard. It's about you. Math magic. For many people, math is a very scary thing. I'm going to show you to make math super easy. I'm going to give you a problem. 103 times 107. What if I told you you can know the answer to this problem already if you knew what you were doing? It's true. I have children as young as 11 solving problems like this in 2 or 3 seconds. In their head, without a calculator. Let me show you how. Notice both of these numbers are greater than 100 and almost 100, close. So my first question is, how much bigger than 100 is 103? You said 3, you're right. And how much bigger than 100 is 107? You said 7, you're right. So let's write those two numbers down next to the original numbers. The difference is 3 and 7. The next step is really simple. Multiply the two differences. 3 times 7 is 21. How hard was that? Really simple. And you're almost done, because that's actually the last two numbers in the answer. It's that easy to learn math. And the next step is even easier. You learn to add diagonally. If you add 103 plus 7, 103 plus 7 is how much? 110. And 107 plus 3 is how much? 110. Here's the amazing thing. No matter which way you add with each problem, the answer is always the same. So take the way that's easier, because the answer is always the same. And write it down. We got 110 and 21. Now here's the cool part. 103 times 107 is 11,021. How much math did you just do? Now, can you please show me? A lot of people will say, well, why would I want to know this? Imagine you're in a real estate business or an accounting business, and people are throwing numbers around, and you crunch them that quickly in your head. What are the chances that person's going to say, that's a smart person, I want to work with them? You can help build rapport very quickly. And for your kids, it's wonderful. Too many kids, and I'm sure some of you have heard this, tell their parents, math's too hard, it's stupid, I don't want to learn it. You've ever heard that from a kid? You bet. Show them this. They can do this in their head. If they can do this, they can do math. They can't tell you they can't do math after they just did math. So they no longer believe the lie that math is too hard. Once we've done that, now we can get them to learn math. So whether you're using it in business to crunch numbers super fast, to gain the trust of the people around you, or you're teaching it to your kids so they can see that math really isn't all that hard, they can do it, it's a fantastic skill. Make sure you share this with someone you love. Now, probably one of the most important skills we can learn is memory. People often say to me, Howard, you read real fast, but do you remember anything? Of course I remember. I was on a television show in Cleveland, and I read an 1,180-page book in 20 minutes. And I got 100 on the test, which they were kind of surprised. They didn't think I would, but I did. But here's where they got shocked. I came back 3 years later, and as a goof, they tested me on the book again without giving it to me. Now, this is a book I read, 1,180 pages. It was 3 years later, and they didn't give me the book. And they tested me the second time, and I got 100 on the second test. And the interviewer said, you know, I read that book, it took me 3 weeks, and you remember more than I did. So, yeah, memory works. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to give you 10 things to remember. Pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, skate, cat, and bowling pins. And I'm willing to bet you don't know all of them. But I'll show you how. If you take something you know, like the numbers from 1 to 10, and link them to what you need to know, in just a few minutes, you'll know them perfectly. And I'll prove it because you'll know them perfectly. A 1 looks like a pole. So when I say 1, say pole. Ready? 1. That's right, pole. Perfect. 2, how many shoes are you wearing? 2. So 2 is shoes, and what's 1? 1 is pole. Excellent. 3 is a tricycle. How many wheels are on a tricycle? 3. So what's 3? Tricycle. What's 2? Shoes. And 1 is pole. You're doing great. 4 is a car. How many tires are on a car? 4. So what's 4? Car. 2 is shoes. 1, pole. 3, tricycle. We're jumping on purpose. You're not memorizing, you're associating. 5 is a glove. How many fingers go in a glove? 5. So 5 is glove, 3 is tricycle, and 1 is pole. Fantastic. 6, gun. They love them in Texas, where I live. What's 6? Gun. 4, car. 2, shoes. You're doing great. 7 is lucky in dice, at least on the first throw. So 7, dice. 5, glove, 3, tricycle, 1, pole. You're a genius. You're almost there. Rhymes work. Say 8 skate. 8 skate. What's 8? Skate. What do they love in Texas? 6, gun. 4, car. 2, shoes. 2 more. How many lives does a cat have? 9. So what's 9? Cat. 7's lucky in dice. 5, glove. 3, tricycle. 1, pole. You're doing amazing. One last number. 10 bowling pins. How many bowling pins in a lane? 10 bowling pins. Let's do the 10 numbers together you couldn't do before. Ready? 1, pole. 2, shoes. 3, tricycle. 4, car. 5, glove. 6, gun. 7, dice. 8, skate. 9, cat. And 10, bowling pins. Give yourselves a big hand. And how does it make you feel? Great. Absolutely. You're doing amazing. Now, I just want to share with you a program I have that'll help you learn what you just did to the next level. And it has a total satisfaction money-back guarantee. It's called the Learning Tsunami. The Learning Tsunami has proven strategies for sales, productivity, time management, and for grades for students. Help seniors stay mentally fit. Like Brad. Brad finished college in 6 months, 4-year college, learned Chinese in 3 weeks, became a missionary. It's reading, writing, memory, and math. And the program is guaranteed to help you learn and use information faster and better. The reading program will make you read 100% faster in just 4 hours time permanently. You can make better decisions and make more money, and kids get higher grades. Writing program eliminates writer's block. It could be people like a book. Fantastic for even doing online materials. The memory program is for learning names, facts, details, almost anything you need to know, you'll be able to remember and recall. And of course, finally, we have the math program, which will also help you to learn. If you could show the last 2 slides. The last slide I want to show you today is how to reach me to get the program. If you go to HBspeedreading.com, HBspeedreading.com, you can try this entire program risk-free. Get my cell phone number for personal help if you need it. And if you're not happy, you send it back, no problem. And you can call me at 214-952-9150 for a personal consultation. If any questions and anything I've shown you today, if you want to become smarter, I'll share my strategies with you on the phone. You could also email me at mrreader@msn.com. And please, if you have any questions about learning you want answered on this show, use my email or my phone. So right now, go to HBspeedreading.com. You'll be glad you did. Until next time, this is Howard Berg, the world's fastest reader, wishing you and yours the best of success. See you in the next show.
The truth sets you free. With the world's fastest reader, Howard Stephen Berg.